Some background. I have not had a relationship with my father for years. My parents divorced when I was a young teenager due to some horrible, even criminal acts my father committed against my mom. My sister and I only wanted him to take accountability for his actions, just own up to it and apologize, in order for us to have a relationship with him. But he refused, and then continually blamed us for not having a relationship with him. He continued to do other awful things after we cut him out of our lives, including stealing from our 90-year-old grandmother while he was her power of attorney and causing her to lose her home of over 50 years. Our brother has stood by him and seen no wrong this whole time. He blames my sister and me for our father's death, saying he's dying of a broken heart. Meanwhile, our father has AFib, habitually used narcotics, and refused to disclose his narcotic use when he was admitted for a cardiac event, which can lead to fatal drug interactions. I want to comfort my brother and my grandmother and other family members during this time, and am making plans to make their lives easier during this time. I've put together care packages with DoorDash and Instacart gift cards, as well as hired a friend who's a cleaning lady to clean their homes for them over the next couple of weeks. I just have no desire to be by my father's bedside while he dies. I have no relationship with him. He's not a person I even want to be associated with. So am I the jerk? Edit for clarification. A handful of family members are telling me I need to go say goodbye to him because he's my father and should have me by his side in his last moments, and are calling me a jerk for not going. I want to be there for my family in this time. I just do not want to be near my father, so I'm not going to the hospital. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. You do not have to go. I did not go. I do not regret it. There are no lingering feelings of, oh no, I don't have closure. Like OP says, some of us deal with our shoot years before an hurtful father passes away. My sister and I knew that he would just inject a final piece of poison before he died. With hurtful people, and especially addicts, it is all about them, never about what you might need. We also did not have a funeral or even pick up the body. This shocked people, but not the people who knew what our childhood was like. We don't have to pretend for anyone. Anyone commenting that OP might regret it either does not know what an hurtful childhood was like or has not done the work on themselves yet to understand we do not owe our abusers a single thing. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Being related to a person by blood does not entitle them to have a relationship with you, especially when they treat other people you love so badly and don't believe they did anything wrong. It's your choice whether you want to go visit him or not. My only advice is to be sure you're at peace with this decision. Some people end up regretting not visiting a dying family member after their death, but others don't. Again, it's your own choice, regardless of what that choice is. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Anyone who tells you that you need to go see a criminal who hurt your mom is wrong on so many counts, and they need to mind their own business. You only need to do what you can live with, and if you can live with your choice without regret, then that's the right decision. It's also important to protect yourself and your mental health. So if supporting family gets in the way of that, please make sure to continue advocating for yourself. Now, for the next story. I'm asking this question because this situation started today, so some explanation. I, 22-year-old male, have my own apartment that I live in alone, but it does have a small guest room. My cousin, 20-year-old male, called me today and told me he was coming to the city tomorrow and asked if he could sleep in the spare bedroom. It's usually not a problem, but I have a general rule that if you want to sleep in the guest room, to let me know at minimum 4 days in advance. I know it sounds weird, but it's just my preference. The problem is that he wants to stay over for a week, and I'm leaving tomorrow for a few days. He asked if I couldn't just give my neighbor a spare key so he could get in the apartment, but honestly, I don't really like it when people sleep in my apartment with me not present, except for my parents and siblings. So I told him that I didn't really feel comfortable about it since I wouldn't be there, and he just kept nagging and asking again and again. I was getting kinda irritated, so when he asked if he could call again tomorrow to confirm, I just said sure and hung up. Now, the last time I let my cousin sleep in my apartment, he did bring with him some gummy bears. I don't really care if he's using it or not, but I don't like to have that kind of stuff in my apartment, so now I'm thinking if I'm just being a jerk or not, and I kinda need a second or a third opinion about this. So, would I be the idiot? Comment 1. I have a general rule that if you want to sleep in the guest room, to let me know at minimum 4 days in advance. I know it sounds weird, but it's just my preference. That's not weird, that's basic courtesy. You're not running a free hotel for your family members to just crash in whenever they decide. Call this cousin back and tell him no, and to give you more notice next time. Yes, Your cousin sounds like the type who will call up all the other family members and recruit them to call you and bash you. But a boundary needs to be set. BTW allowing him to treat your apartment like his own personal flophouse could also cause friction with your neighbors, which is a headache you don't need. Not the idiot. Comment 2. It's your apartment. You get to say who, when, and for how long you have guests, or if you even have guests at all. Nobody is entitled to stay in your guest room. If your cousin can afford gummy bears, he can afford a motel room, or he doesn't come. Don't answer the phone for a few days and ignore pressure from social media. Who knows what flying monkeys he may rope into pressuring you. When you leave, tell your neighbors or landlord or doorman or whatever that your cousin may come by and want to get into your apartment, and he does not have permission. WTF. Entitled much. Your cousin, not the idiot. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I don't think the 4-day rule is weird at all, especially because who knows what else you might have planned. But I also don't think it's wrong that you want to not have your cousin alone in your home for a few days. Now, for the next story. My 23-year-old female, husband, 25-year-old male, and I have 2 kids together. I stay home with the kids, and he works. A few days ago, he said his sister had an extra concert ticket, and he wanted to go with her to a different city. He told me one day before the concert. He said he would be back the day after the concert. I looked up the tour and found out the concert had been canceled a month before. I texted them and asked why they would lie, and they said they didn't know until they got there. Later, I found out that they knew there was no concert because they had told someone else it was canceled, and they both lied to me. So they just went to party in the hotel with his co-workers. He also stayed an extra day, and he's telling me I'm crazy for getting mad, and he's still lying to me. Am I being dramatic? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. It's pretty reasonable to expect your partner to tell you the truth, and moreover, it's reasonable to take it as a betrayal if your partner lies to you, especially something like this. The point of partnering with someone is to share your life with them and any additional family members, which is to say, your 2 kids. That doesn't necessarily mean doing everything together. There are certainly relationships in which one partner going off and doing their own thing for a few days would be reasonable, assuming it was appropriately planned and accounted for, ergo not informing the other one day before. But your husband didn't just drop this on you one day before, which alone would be shitty on his part. He lied to you, he betrayed your trust, in order to go off and be without you. He did that instead of discussing the matter and making his plans actually work with you. He chose to not negotiate or work with you about it. And that makes him the jerk here, not the idiot, not for being mad at him, not for not being home when he returns. Though please do make sure your kids are being looked after. Don't let your anger at your husband compromise your care for the 2 vulnerable children in your life. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Sounds like there is more going on here. I'd be very wary. Why would he have to lie about a party with coworkers? Where was the motel? Local. Shenanigans happened and there may be a big fallout, intimacy and drugs maybe. I could see why he might stay at the hotel if he was drinking. But if it was local, it's called an Uber, taxi, or designated driver. Why did he have to hide the whole thing? And why did both of them go to a party for his coworkers? Does his sister know them already, and how old is she? You're not being dramatic, and I'd be looking into this further. Any other red flags about how he's treating you in this relationship? Does he lie often? This one is a particularly big lie. Any signs he could be cheating? Who exactly was at this party? Would you have been okay with him going to a party if he told you about it? Or are these dodgy friends? Why did he lie? These are all questions to think about. And an STI test might be a good idea, now and in 3 months. Comment 3. This is not an AH post, but no, not the idiot. He's gaslighting you into thinking your feelings are not valid even though he was the one that lied. You can put an ultimatum on him or enforce boundaries. That is, if you lie to me again, I will leave with the kids, to a friend's, family, etc., to sleep somewhere else. If you lie to me again, we're over. You do realize that he can be lying about a shitload of stuff, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Now, for the next story. We've been together for 6 months, and I'm 5'3" and around 76 kilograms, so I'm short and chubby. I've also had 4 kids, my youngest being 11 months old, so my body isn't as toned as it used to be. Today I was getting undressed to get in the shower and noticed my boyfriend staring at me. I didn't like the way he was looking, but I didn't say anything. Then he goes, "You've got a big arse." I responded, "What?" And he goes, "No, I mean, you have a long bum crack." I was offended, more so at the tone he was using and the way he was staring. I told him he was making me feel bad and to keep his comments to himself. I've never had a man say anything about my butt crack before, and it was an odd comment to make. My boyfriend is the same height as me, nearly 90 kilograms, and is extremely unfit and doesn't want to do anything to change his ways. I told him, I don't comment on your appearance, so why do you do it to me? My boyfriend has no arse, it looks like a mushroom. I told him, how would you feel if I said your arse looks like a mushroom? And he goes, oh well, I prefer a short crack over a long one. He is still saying I'm overreacting, and if I keep reacting this way, he'll leave me. I told him it's ridiculous him threatening to leave. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Lol, this whole post is toxic as AF. It doesn't sound like he's your baby daddy. So why stay? Why be with someone who would tell you, your body is weird, and by the way, if you get upset about it, I'm leaving you. Read that out loud and think if that's really something you want to possibly deal with forever. I ain't trying to get personal, but it sounds like you got divorced, widowed recently, and this dude is a rebound. You're worth more, your kids are worth more. He's a loser. Do better. Comment 2. If I keep reacting this way, he'll leave me. He's testing you. Run. This is classic manipulator shoot. They start out nice, then start to test you in little ways like this to see how much they can walk all over you and make you take it in the hopes that you'll get that little bit of nice back. Little by little, it gets worse and worse as they learn that you love them more than you love yourself. Get out. Comment 3. You're absolutely not overreacting. Why would he say that? Are you supposed to be complimented by it? What a strange and rude thing for him to express. You are not the idiot, and I wonder if this is really a guy who you want as a boyfriend. Kick his butt to the curb immediately. Now, for the next story. So I'm having my 21st birthday party, and I want to invite the majority of the people from my work to it. However, there are about 4 people that I do not want to invite because, honestly, they're problematic. I have personally never had a problem with them, but a lot of the other people at my work have. I've only worked at this place for about 3 months. If I did invite them, most of the other people I want to come wouldn't show up. I'm conflicted, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. On the other hand, I know it's my birthday, and I should be able to invite who I want. Thoughts? Lowell. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. You would be the jerk if you didn't invite all coworkers, particularly if it's just because some people in the office don't like them. If you have never had a problem with any of them, then don't create one. Having only worked there for 3 months, I should imagine it will be pretty obvious to the 4 of them that the other workers have influenced you, which can only have a detrimental effect on the workplace. Inviting some coworkers and not others is a crappy thing to do and could come back to bite you. I've had experience of this sort of thing being brought up when complaints have been made against colleagues to show how there's favoritism in the office. Comment 2. Think of all your coworkers as small children. If you can't invite everyone from the class, work, then you must make the invites private, not on company property. If and when the excluded people find out about the party, there will be drama. You will have to deal with that. My advice is invite no one from work or everyone. If it were just 1 or 2 people you were close friends with, it would be different. It sounds like you want most of the people from work invited. You would be the jerk if you invite most but not all to your birthday party. Comment 3. You would be the jerk, all or none in this case. In theory, you should be able to invite who you want to your party. But the work element makes this challenging. If your coworkers can be civil at work, they should be able to be polite at your party. You're going to end up creating a problem with those 4 people because you excluded them, which you don't need. Personally, I avoid too much socializing with coworkers. If you get really close to 1 or 2 of them, that's different. But doing bigger group things turns into a minefield. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.